Worth Living. It's right now 10:01 and we're coming to you live straight from Miami. And you who are watching us, yes, me and Robert here today. Good evening, Robert.
Good evening, Pastor.
We are here live. And what's going to happen tonight, Robert? Why are you here? What's going on?
Well, we are
This is your camera right here. Look at yourself and tell everybody.
I'm going to play a song only if we reach 50 views.
Oh, this is a challenge.
It's a challenge. If you guys want to hear me play music, if you guys want to hear me play a song, then let's reach those 50 views, guys.
We are going to go unplugged acoustic live performance from Robert Barajas, because we are in these 21 days and we are proving to you that being in the 21 days, it's not something super boring. You can watch a movie, you can watch shows, you can go to places, you can enjoy the best and not break your fast.
Yep.
But you have to learn how to do it. He's gonna show us how to do it with music, but he's only gonna show it to us if we reach those 50 views. So right now, get the link of this show, spread it out with friends, family, your neighbors, everybody has to help us reach 50 views, or else, Robert, what are you gonna do?
Or
you're gonna pick up your guitar and go.
I'm just gonna leave. Yeah, you're just gonna see me disappear out of the camera.
All right, so the challenge is set. If you are watching us right now, you know what to do. Let's share the link of this video. Let's make it go viral, and let's reach those 50 views. And the question for all of you who are watching me right now here on camera 3 is, what is your greatest void? Or what has been the void that you've been seeing in young people? Why do you think they feel empty? We want your opinion on this topic, and you can write it here on our comments below. Okay, we'll be right back right after this break, right after Robert's head gets out of the camera. There we go. And we'll be right back with more of Life Worth Living. Keep sharing, keep liking, and leave me your comments here below.
It's the full story of life crushed into 4 minutes. The entirety of humanity in the palm of your hand, crushed into one sentence. Listen, it's intense, right? God, our sins, paying everyone life. The greatest story ever told that's hardly ever told. God. Yes, God. The maker and giver of life. And by life, I mean any and all manner and substance. Seen and unseen. What can and can't be touched. Thoughts, image, emotions, love, atoms, and oceans. God. All of it is handiwork, one of which is masterpiece, made so uniquely that angels look curiously. The one thing in creation that was made with his imagery, the concept so cold. It's the reason I stay bold, how God breathed in a man and he became a living soul. Formed with the intent of being infinitely, intimately fond. Creator and creation held in eternal bond. And it was placed in perfect paradise till something went wrong. A species got deceived and started lusting for his job. An odd list of complaints, as if the system ain't working. And used that same breath he graciously gave us to curse him. And that sin seed spread through our soul's genome. And by nature of your nature, your species, you participated in the mutiny. Our sins. It's nature inherited. Black in the human heart. It was over before it started. Deceived from day one and led away by our own lust. There's not a religion in the world that doesn't agree that something's wrong with us. The question is, what is it? And how do we fix it? Are we eternally separated from a God that may or may not have existed? But that's another subject. Let's keep grinding. Besides, trying to prove God is like defending a lion, homie. It don't need your help. Just unlock the cage. Let's move on how our debt can be paid. Short and sweet. The problem is sin. Yes, sin. It's a cancer, an asthma, choking out our life force, forcing separation from a perfect and holy God. And the only way to get back is to get back to perfection, but silly us. Trying to pass the course of life without referring to a syllabus. This is us. Keep up your good deeds. Chant, pray, meditate. But all of that, of course, is spraying cologne on a corpse. Or you could choose to ignore it as if something don't stink. It's like stepping in dog poop and refusing to wipe your shoe, but all of that ends with how good is good enough. Take your silly list of good deeds and line them up against perfection, good luck. That's life past your pay grade. The cost of your soul, you ain't got a big enough piggy bank, but you could give it a shot. But I suggest you throw away the list, because even your good acts are an extension of your selfishness. But here's where it gets interesting. I hope you're closely listening. Please don't get it twisted. It's what makes our faith unique. Here's what God says as part A of the gospel. You can't fix yourself. Quit trying. It's impossible. Sin brings death. Give God his breath back. You owe him. Eternally separated, and the only way to fix it is someone die in your place, and that someone gotta be perfect, or the payment ain't permanent. So if and when you find a perfect person, get him or her to willingly trade their perfection for your sin and death in. Clearly, since the only one that can meet God's criteria is God, God sent himself as Jesus to pay the cost for us. His righteousness, his death, functions as payment. Yes, payment. Wrote a check with his life, but at the resurrection we all cheered, because that means the check cleared. Pierced feet, pierced hands, blood-stained Son of Man, fullness, forgiveness, free passage into the promised land. That same breath that God breathed into us, God gave up to redeem us. And anyone and everyone, and by everyone I mean everyone, who puts their faith and trust in him and him alone can stand in full confidence of God's forgiveness. And here's what the promise is, that you are guaranteed full access to return to perfect unity by simply believing in Christ alone. You are receiving life. Yes, life. This is the gospel. God, our sins, paying everyone life.
Very interesting way of how this guy put it together about the gospel. And we have many people who have talents here in the YPG. And like we said, being a part of the YPG and doing the 21 days does not mean that you are going to live under a rock. Robert, a lot of people are turned off by the idea of the 21 days because they think, now what's the point? I can't listen to music. I can't be on my phone. I can't go online. I can't do anything. Is that true?
It's not true.
It's not true. Why?
No.
I mean, I've been watching this really cool show. It's called AD. You should check it out. It's on Netflix. If you can't control yourself, if you're going to end up watching something else on Netflix, don't go. But this thing is really cool. I've been watching it. I really enjoyed it. And it's something that adds to your faith. It doesn't take away from it.
Right.
It's all talking about the disciples, life after Jesus' ascension. It's really a spectacular view. And it's something that adds, and there are many others. We're also going to be talking about movies, music, and all that stuff throughout this week. But we want to ask you a question. The question is, what is the empty feeling, or why is there an empty feeling inside most young people? And Robert, for you, why do you think that there was that empty feeling inside of you?
Well, I believe that a lot of people have the empty feeling because they have lack of friendship, or they just don't have much attention from, say, their family members. So they have that emptiness inside of them, that they feel lonely, and it's kind of like a dark place to them.
So that ends up bringing, kind of like making the thin ice crack, and then there's a crater right underneath, and they don't know how to get out of it. So we want to know about your comments. I have here Bruna saying, I already finished AD, and it's amazing. You won't be able to stop watching. Unfortunately, they only made 12 episodes. I'm very angry at them for that, but that's okay. Let's keep up with the good. There's other good things to watch. And many other people here are logging in right now. We are at 21 views, but I'm not sure if they got the Facebook going, but we are live on YouTube. So they can't stop us there. They're gonna try to stop us here. We make a way. We're always making a way. If we reach how many views, Robert?
50 views.
50 views. Robert is going to solo it out here on his guitar, and it's gonna be a song that, and you wrote the song. Is it another song that's been done already?
Yeah, it's a playback.
Don't say what it is. Don't say what it is. But we're gonna be having it live here on our show. Right now we're gonna go to Liliana, I think, if I'm not mistaken. sorry if I get your name wrong, but she's from our YPG in Apopka, and she has a little something to say about the 21 days.
My name is Ileana. I am doing the 21 days fasting. I choose to do it because I know it'll bring me closer to God. So far, it has been very helpful for me. The hardest part for me, though, would have to be that my family is not participating in it, so I have to tell them no with the things that they do as a family. But I know it'll be worth it because God will end up blessing me.
Hi, my name is Nada Lopez. I'm from the Miami branch here, and I'm doing the 21 days fast. And it's really hard to not know what's going on in the world and in the government, but it's really worth it, and I hope everybody else has the opportunity to do it as well.
Hi, my name is Kayla. I'm doing the 21-day fast because I want to disconnect myself from the world and to get closer to the things of God, to be able to seek more, to be able to fast more, to be able to have a communion with God within these 21 days. That's why I'm doing the fast, and I invite you to do it as well.
So Robert is going to play live here. You're seeing Robert. Let's give Robert some flavor real quick. Robert's going to be live right now. He's going to be live if we reach the magic number 50, okay? YPG is always trying to promote new talent. If you have a talent, if you want to showcase your talent here, then you can just inbox us on our Facebook page or send us a message here on YouTube. We'll be glad to respond. I have here Viviana Cuero from YPG Miami, Luis Lopez from West Palm Beach, YPG West Palm Beach, and I have a lady saying, let's see, what does it say? Okay, there we go. The Bible is one of the shows that is helping me a lot. I recommend it to all. YPG San Jose, California. And I have Bruna saying, come on, Robert, please play. Robert's only going to play when we reach the 50. 50 is the magic number. We are at 21. Are we going to make it happen, Robert?
Let's see. Let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
Speaking of people on our show, I have a guest from our YPG in Georgia. It's Pedro, right? Pedro, you there?
Let's hope so. Speaking of people on our show, I have a guest from our YPG in Georgia.
Pedro, I need you to turn off your computer and just listen to me here over the phone.
Sure, no worries.
All right, can you hear me fine?
Yep, I hear you perfectly.
All right, so Pedro, you're from what part of Georgia?
Yep, I'm over here up at YPG Norcross, up here in Georgia, just like you said, with my wife.
All right, you're there with Pastor Mauricio, right? The coordinator there?
Yes, she is our main pastor, Pastor Mauricio, and his wife, Miss Annabelle.
All right, so a big shout out to all the guys out there in YPG Georgia, whether you're watching us from Atlanta, Smyrna, or Gainesville, Chamblee, all the YPGs out there, a big shout out to all of you guys. Now, Pedro, we were asking people the question about what do you think makes or creates that empty feeling inside of young people? What do you think is the main causer of that void? In your opinion, we all know what's behind it, but what can create the crack that makes the crater?
The one thing that I've seen in my viewpoint is that people start to fill that thing with the one thing that doesn't matter the most. Lots of times we find it, and lo and behold, we end up filling it with drugs, with drinking, with women, with men, with whatever it is that gives us that momentary pleasure. And we realize it's that very quick temporary fix that gives us such a great high of emotion that makes it go, no, this is it. This is the one thing that's going to make me happy. And we don't look for that long-term gratification. We look for that, I want this now, I want this right now, and I want this because it's all about me.
So pretty much, going into that selfish behavior and only thinking about you, that's what you think is personally the greatest reason why people feel empty. They're just thinking about themselves. They want to gratify their own pleasures and things of that sort. That's your opinion, right?
Yeah, like I remember back in my party days, one of the key things that I've always seen in someone's behavior that even though they seemed happy at the moment, the party, they'd be sad the next time I saw them. It's because at that moment, the attention's on them. Look at me, popping bottles and whatever else that we got going on. It's like, it's in that moment that it's temporary, and then it's brief, because the next morning, the next hour, they remember what they really have going on, and it's as much as they wish at a party that a drink that another person can take that away, it's impossible.
And what about your own personal experience? Well, how was your void, or what was your void caused by?
Lots of times, the main one was just was when I got outside of the Marine Corps. I got out in 2014, and for the longest time, I lost my sense of self-worth and self-meaning. I went from being in charge of a few Marines to being in a position of leadership, to working at a call center, barely making enough to scrape by, if at all. And I turned to one of my old vices, pornography. So that right there is what caused the rift. I paid attention more to someone on the screen, someone that I embodied more than my own wife itself, or my newborn son, who were the true people in my life that were the ones filling up my void.
How did that make you feel, knowing that, man, no, I'm trading my 3D wife for a 2D screen? How did that make you feel?
It made me feel like a worm, like a literal worm. Here I was, happily married, to be honest, happily married to a beautiful woman that has supported me through thick and thin in the military, to now I'm filling it with every other woman I could find, under every category that I could find. It made me feel worthless, like this is what I've reduced myself to. Okay, let me go look at another video.
And some people might say, nah, yeah, to each his own and all that, but we're not really trying to approach the people who are cool with it, people who don't care about it, people who think that, no, every guy does that, or it's part of life and all that stuff. We're not really talking to you. We're talking to the guys who are saying, wait a minute, I have a problem and I want to stop. We're trying to reach out to those who are saying, no, I'm in too deep, I want to quit, or whether it's the porn, whether it's the alcohol, whether it's the drugs, whether it's the gang, the violence, whatever you're trying to fill that hole with. We're not trying to sympathize with you or trying to say, stop, it's bad. No, we're going after the guys like Pedro who came to a conclusion. This is not fun anymore. This is controlling me. This is beyond me. This is something that I'm in too deep. Those are the people who we are interested in, because those are the ones who want to change. And that's how it all happened with you, Pedro, right?
Yep. And at a certain point, I realized that as much as I was briefly happy in pornography and playing video games by myself and staying on my own little corner away from my wife and kids, I realized not a thing was changing. Yes, I was happy for those few minutes, for whatever amount of time I allotted myself, but not a thing was changing in my career, in my personal life. I wasn't achieving any dreams. I was living with family. So here I am, a married man with a son, and I'm living with family when I should be doing everything I can to get my own place. So as a man, you know what you need to do when you need to do it, and when you realize that you can't do it because you're too far deep into your addictions or your problems, that something needs to be done because you don't have that much time left, if at all.
I have a question from one of the viewers here. She's asking, what was the lowest point for you? And all the viewers who are watching me right now, if you have a question for Pedro, he's live on the show with us, straight from Atlanta, yeah, it's Atlanta, right?
Yep.
Okay, he's live from Atlanta, Georgia, and you can also send your questions here, and we'll answer them live. So, Pedro, for you, what was your lowest point?
The lowest point.
Hold that for a second. We're gonna be right back with Pedro's lowest point. We're gonna talk to him, and he's gonna reveal what has rock bottom done to him. And if you know somebody who is in a similar situation, I want you to send this link to them, because what he went through is definitely going to help him or her. Robert, you're gonna sing, or you're gonna play When We Reach how many?
50 views.
So far, it's looking grim, but we can change this around. Let's share, let's like, let's put this word out, okay? Don't forget to write your comments here below. We're going to go right now for another video by this guy called Propaganda. He's also talking in a creative way about our faith and what it can do.
The perfect picture, the space and time splitter, the Augustan calendar plumb line. We all know what common error means. Please. I'm telling you, this is epic. Wait for it. I'm finna fix it. The promised neck crusher with a bruised heel. It's so real. The image the law was picturing. And prophets trying to concoct words about breathing word. Get it? Breathing word. Word that breathed the breath of life. Who invented both. Whoa. Word. The start and stopper stay stunting like my daddy. Homie, the great I am's great I told you. The system flipper over. The overture you missed. The back is the front. Homie, left side up. The greater and higher jihad. Greater revolution. Earthly kingdoms are pitiful. The second in rank equal in essence. Laughing at demigods because dem a fraud. But for the joy set before him. This kingdom works backwards. The ruler serves, servant king, suffering servant, sit with that one. The endless and eternal, I owe you one, big bro. The savior, irrespective of rank, race, and religion. The incomparable good news, the I'm all you got, partner. The good luck without me, bruh, but it's all good. Your smell don't bother me. I love you. The still sitting at right hand, giggling at earth kings. Your entire empire is a card castle, no hassle. The sound that is person and came in camp with underlings, whose light and life was the light and life of all human beings. The yeah, I'm that guy. The I'm that dude. The I'm period. The second person, fully God, fully King, him, the owner of death keys. The I'll take that and raise you one. The raised one, the living and breathing liberty bell that'll never crack. The warning, the dawn of the last morning. The I'ma be right back. The I'll deal with you later. The I am not at all shook in any way by Satan. Does a painting scare a painter, or does he just destroy the canvas? Until then, I'm a post right here waiting for these suckers to prop my feet on. And when Pop say I'm on my way, scooping my dime up, let's roll, girl. The 1 and 3 and 1, all-sufficient son of Elohim, that's Jesus. Yahshua, our prophet, priest, and king. Our prophet, priest, and king.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Luis Tinoco, and me coming to the YPG, it's helped me out a lot because before I used to live per se a good life, but it was until I hit rock bottom. And so a certain event in my life occurred that sparked in me a depression. And because of that depression, it led me to have an emptiness. It led me to hang out with the wrong crowd. And what caused that depression was my sentimental life. And because of that fact was with this girl that I was with that initially it was going well. We were going out, doing things like that. But there came a moment until we started arguing. The things between us weren't doing so well. So because of that, we ended up breaking up, and that really hit me. And from there, I started having insecurities. I started having a lot of traumas, depression. But me coming to the YPG, not only did I meet people who I can trust, rely on, but I also learned to cope with that depression, overcome that depression. And not only that, but I learned to be a youth that is different, a youth that is persevering, a youth that doesn't give up. And this is my invitation to you guys, to the YPG.
So that's what we're all about. That's the story of Luis, how he came and who he is today. We're back with Pedro. Pedro, you still there?
Yep, still here, still alive.
All right. So, Pedro, we want to know, the world must know, what does rock bottom feel like? How did it taste for you?
Oh my goodness, it tasted like a good kick in the teeth. I remember, it's so clearly to me back then.
Let me add to that. It tastes like a kick in the teeth with steel toe boots.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So you sank low. How low is low?
I remember when I realized enough was enough, because spiritually, my wife and I remember the day too. Spiritually, my wife and I said we don't feel like going to church anymore. And on top of that, my wife found pictures on my phone of women, not of women I knew. These were all women on the internet, you know, pictures of girls from apps or stuff like that. And so I never cheated on my wife, but things that I found, so I was cheating on her regardless. And she found them in the locked app on my phone. And I remember too that she was telling me that, you know, she doesn't never felt attracted to me anymore. Like when we were together, being a married couple, she didn't feel like being with me in physically was not anything she wanted to do anymore, and it was like it was useless anymore. And I even myself was like on my Facebook looking at next women of who would be my next wife, so to speak, of like, okay, well, this marriage is going to be done for anytime soon. I might as well start lining up the next one. Well, she's got good qualities. You know, I was lying to myself that way. And I knew I was at the lowest point because once we had the fight about it, I went back to the restroom and I did it again. And I was just there. I realized, you know, I'm a horrible human being. What am I doing myself? All I'm just doing is making myself weaker every single time. And here all my friends on Facebook are getting promoted to sergeant, staff sergeant, graduating college, and then here I am in the same position for way too long.
So you pretty much saw your castle crumble before your eyes, and all for a very stupid reason. And how did the YPG help you put the castle back together? Or, I wouldn't say even rebuild the castle, but make a new castle. What did the YPG have to do with that?
For the one thing was it gave me a sense of purpose. I came from, of course, being in the leadership background, to not having anything to do really. Nobody really understood me outside. They all thought I was crazy, you know, former Marine. These guys are nuts. But around there, I found individuals that had, you know, purpose, and we were all growing together. We all had great times together. We were able to mentor each other together. I was looking for that one piece of individuals, because I've learned it too in my military background. If you hang out with people that are negative, always complaining, and just hate life altogether, you're going to be the same way. But if you hang out with the people that were spiritually prosperous, that were looking for the next thing that they're going to do to conquer, that they're thinking about the future and their benefits that they're going to get, those are the people you want to hang around with, because in the end you will become the same as them. They were also a great support group. I could come up to them and ask them questions. Things that I normally felt embarrassed about. They were one of the obreros. They were telling me, yeah, I mean, we're guys. We deal with those all the time. The trick is to be stronger.
So they didn't like rain bricks on you and say, no, you a perv and you're an idiot, no, get out and all that stuff. That didn't happen?
No, not at all. I mean, if anyone's ever said that, I'd like to meet them and be like, what are you talking about? Who is this obrero? Because we need to go fix this right now. Because in my time with the YPG, that's never happened. I've always felt welcome. Even when I've been slow to the take, or I'm not catching on, or I'm being disrespectful myself, they were patient with me. And even then, I knew myself, okay, I need to be a better person. I need to show them the respect they deserve, because they are pastors or brothers, etc. You know, it's these guys were, out of everyone that's ever given up on me, that's never believed in me, because I'm a skinny guy. People didn't believe I would be a U.S. Marine, and yet I was able to make it. I was able to prove them wrong. These are the same people that believed in me, that one day I will look at this in my rearview mirror and be like, I conquered that. And my wife and I are now better and blessed, and our marriage is stronger. I have no one else in my mind that I want to spend the rest of my life with. And I could go on, and I can go on if you want me to.
I mean, I would love to, but right now we're like 30 seconds to close the show. But that's wonderful to hear, because Peter now, he has the relationship that he always dreamed he could have, but maybe he couldn't do it all by himself. And that's the key, and that's what the YPG is there for. Like you heard it from him, no one's out there to judge you and point out your flaws, because you're not blind. You can see your flaws all by yourself. But what you can't see is how to fix it, how to get out of it, how to overcome it, how to control it, how to kick it out. You don't know, you can't see that. That's where we come in. And that's why doing the 21-day fast is so important. That's why, Robert, you have to be in it, and you have to be in it halfway, right?
No, all 100.
All 150% of you have to be there. Pedro, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. And no, God bless you and your wife. It's going to be an epic journey for all your family, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Yeah, and if I may add to that, Pastor, about the 21-day fast really quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
it's a great opportunity. Every time there's a 21-day fast, I go into it as best as I can with all my efforts. Like me, I'm a cell phone junkie. I make sure to put the phone down, focus on my wife, focus on my kids. Even though my wife understands we're trying to focus on the Holy Spirit itself, when we have those moments, we're able to focus on each other. We pray together. We read the Bible together. And it grows us not just spiritually, but personally in our relationship. And that to me is worth more than any other woman in the world. She understands my faith so well.
And that's the beauty of the 21 days. And for anybody, I could care less who it is, but anybody who does it with all of their strength, it changes them drastically. You will never be the same after the 21 days if you do it right. Tomorrow, I'm going to share with you 7 ways on how you can do it wrong. Things that you should never do during the 21 days. Tomorrow, you should log on to the show and let us know. Unfortunately, we did not reach 50, so Robert's off the hook. But he's going to be here tomorrow. Tomorrow, Robert's going to be on the hook again. We have to reach the 50. We reached the 50. He is going to be playing the guitar, showcasing his talent here on the show. Last but not least, at the end of this month, the very last Sunday of the month, circle that date on your calendar because here in Florida, the YPG is going to have the biggest talent show till date. From north to south, Tampa to Homestead, every place here in our YPG in the state of Florida is bringing out their best talents that's going to battle it out till the very end. You want to find more? Speak to your coordinator and be a part of this big event that's going to happen at the end of this month. Okay? We unfortunately don't have any more time, but we will be back tomorrow at 10 p.m. sharp with more Life Worth Living.